"What's wrong?" Nyla asked. "Ren doesn't want me to fight." She only continued stirring the broth she was making on the stove, not answering me. "Do you agree with him?" I asked. "I understand that he's scared something will happen to you." "But do you agree?" I insisted. I didn't want vague, evasive answers. I wanted to know the truth. The last time Ren had tried to keep me out of the fight, Nyla had been the one to lock me in my room with magic so that I couldn't run into battle. I'd been furious. She'd betrayed me. Nyla turned to me. "I think we should work on your magic." "What?" "We should train you more intensely so that you can use it." "Do you think he wants to keep me away from the fighting because he thinks I'm weak?" I shook my head and threw my hands in the air. At first, they had treated me with kid gloves because I was human. Now, because my power wasn't enough. I'd started a war, and now I wasn't strong enough to follow through. When would it end? "He loves you, Ellie," Nyla said. "And when you love someone, you do everything you can to protect them." He'd already lost his father. It had been months since his death, but the pain still sat heavy with Ren. I shared his pain sometimes. His sorrow was so powerful at times, I drowned in it. "And what am I supposed to do?" I asked. "I love him too, but if I tell him not to go to battle, he'll laugh at me." Nyla pulled her pot of broth from the stove. "Let's focus on finding a stride, okay?" she said. "We'll work it out. There's time." But she was wrong. We had no time. The Civil War was pending, and it had been for months. The fighting would start soon, and I wasn't allowed to be a part of it. "Here," Nyla said, holding out her hands. I put my hands in hers without hesitation. She'd always helped me, guided me, healed me. She'd always used her power to reel me in or to draw me out. When she took my hands, nothing happened. I stared at her, waiting for something spectacular. I willed her to fix this. "Do something," she said. "Me?" I asked. "Like what?" "Anything. Use your magic. Surprise me." I wasn't used to finding my magic on command. When I was safe at the compound, I didn't have to use my magic to protect myself. The few times I had, it had happened by itself. I hadn't given it much thought. Now, I had to find my magic and do something. I wasn't sure I could. I was angry and had to work around that to find my magic. It was like my anger created a blockage. Earlier, when I'd been with Ren, it had been easy to find my power, but he'd pulled me into it. Maybe it had been his power all along. Was that why he wanted to keep me out of the fray?